He'll get you a microphone so everybody can hear you. He's coming up right behind you. I know, me neither, but you know what? You see all those cameras? If they can't hear us, then we won't. We don't exist if we're not on TV, you know. So,
my name is Gary, and I'm also a New Hampshire resident from Lebanon. And like you, I was a parochial kid. My wife was a public kid. Our kids went to public school, so I understand.
You know what I mean? You can feel it. Absolutely.
And they turned out okay.
Yep.
My question is this. What do you have to do to convince people that character matters? Because there's a lot of them.
That's why I'm here in New Hampshire. Because you all are the most interested voters in America. I believe that all of you are trained for this, right? Starting in grade school. In fact, when I came up here 8 years ago and was running the first time, I would get almost universally the same reaction when you would come up to somebody after a meeting like this, and they would come up and say, hello, I really liked what you had to say. And you would say to them, so do I have your support? And they would say, you're in my top 3. And it kept going. Like every time I go in, they say, you're in your top 3, in your top 3. And I finally said, like, they teach these people this in school. Like, just put them off, say you're in your top 3. Look, the truth matters. And I believe we've gotten to a place in this country in both parties where the truth is now negotiable. If you don't like the truth that you're hearing on one cable station, you go to another one and you find the truth that you like. So if you're conservative, you go to Fox News and you listen to the truth that you like. If you're a liberal, you go to MSNBC and you listen to the truth that they tell you. If you're just confused, you go to CNN and they kind of say something to you. I mean, we're at a point where people are convincing us that the truth is not the truth. It is. And the worst part in our party now is that the reason I think people are not responding to this immediately is because they're disoriented by it. We've had a leader of our party for the last 8 years who is a stranger to the truth. He just is. I've known him for 22 years. He's a stranger to the truth. He doesn't know. And when he does know, if it isn't something he likes, he makes it up. So I absolutely believe that if you come here enough and you answer questions directly and you're honest with people and you tell the truth, that ultimately they'll respond to it. Now, this is an experiment in democracy like every election is. And we're going to see if I'm right or I'm wrong. But let me tell you who's going to decide if I'm right or I'm wrong. You are. You are. And I will tell you that if Donald Trump loses in New Hampshire in late January or early February of 2024, he's finished. You in this state will be able to make that determination for the Republican Party. Because I absolutely believe that what he is a kind of okay looking facade that is rotted on the inside. And when you break through that facade, that entire building will collapse. The moment to decide whether that facade is going to be broken or not is here in New Hampshire, because you've done it before. And let me urge you, okay, to forget about the polls. You've seen that enough times in this state as well. Remember, Barack Obama had that big win in Iowa. He came in here, he's like 15 points ahead of Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. And all of a sudden they came here and Hillary Clinton beat him in New Hampshire. John McCain was dead. It was over. His campaign was finished in 2007, 2008. He came here and did meetings like this all around New Hampshire. He gave straight talk to the people of the state. And they didn't vote for Mitt Romney. They didn't vote for Rudy Giuliani. They didn't vote for the people who were the favorites back then. They voted for John McCain after his campaign was already written off. And he became the nominee of the Republican Party. And in 2016, I could tell you that none of us standing on that stage in the first debate back in July of 2015 ever thought in a million years, me, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, John Kasich, Ted Cruz, Carly Fiorina, none of us thought Donald Trump was going to be the nominee. You know who else didn't think Donald Trump was going to be the nominee? Donald Trump. And I'll tell you why I know that. Because on the stage for the second debate in 2015, everybody on that stage, except for me, hated Donald Trump, wouldn't talk to him. And you know what? If you really want to make money, if you're the RNC, what you should do is sell pay-per-view for what goes on the stage during the commercials. You really get to see what really is going on, right? And what was going on back then was nobody wanted to talk to him. I was the only one who would talk to him. And he came up to me and he said to me, Chris, look, I'm not staying in this race. Like, eventually I'm going to go down. And when I do, I'm going to get out. And you're the only one here who's nice to me. So I'm going to be with you. He didn't even think he was going to win. Right? So I want you all to remember that you get to decide. And someone asked me, why is he ahead in the polls now? Because he was the nominee the last two times. He's the default answer for folks. Because we haven't really started this campaign. It starts in 2 weeks. August 23rd, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the first Republican debate. And let's see. Let's see if he respects you enough to show up. Because it's not about me. It's not about DeSantis or Nikki Haley or any of the other candidates, Tim Scott. It's about you. It's a privilege to be on that stage. It's a privilege to run for president of the United States. There are people who are running who want to get on the stage who won't be there because they won't qualify for it. So for those of us who qualify for it, it's a privilege to be on that stage and to have the opportunity to run for president of the United States, to make our case to you directly why we deserve your vote. Let's see if he respects you enough to show up on the 23rd. I'll guarantee you one thing. If he's there, he'll know I'm there too. Right.